Well, that's a spec you don't see every day. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Look at this black Les Paul Standard, what a freak. But yeah, I love it at the same time. So surprise, surprise, it's the Music Zoo listing this. They like to do a whole bunch of crazy custom orders, but instead of being brand new this time, this is actually one that they sold all the way back in 2016. That's made its way back into its shop. So at a core model, it's a 1957 reissue gold top. So normally they look like this. Neck pickup, bridge pickup, ABR1, stop bar tailpiece, 4 controls, pick guard, 3-way toggle, nice gold finish with a light colored back. This one's all whack. This one's got a black finish on the top, the exact opposite. So we've omitted the neck pickup. Okay, that's pretty cool. I love the one pickup Les Pauls. They just have a certain vibe to them, especially when they're a carved top Les Paul. But yeah, we still retain an ABR1 bridge and stop bar tailpiece, but hey, 3 of our controls are missing. Usually when you slim it down to one humbucker, they give you a volume and a tone control, but this one just appears to have a volume. But if you take a closer look at the pickup, it wasn't even Gibson who made that. It's a DiMarzio Super Distortion. But on top of that, we've got some sort of a kill switch up here, which is super cool because you don't see that stock out of the Gibson custom shop very often at all. In fact, as far as a momentary kill switch out of the custom shop, I think that's the only time we've ever seen that, because the bucket heads actually came from Gibson USA. Certainly not a vibe for everyone, but it has its own unique identity. But that's not even it. Looking at our headstock, it appears we've been upgraded to Grover style tuners instead of the Klusons that normally ship on these. And being in 2016, it was birthed in that strange era when they actually put R7 and then the serial number. That didn't last too long. You will notice it is a complete black back, and the previous owner put some Adidas Star Wars guy on the back plate. They were asking $5,900 for this. You might say, hey Trogly, a brand new one of these is like $5,000, what's up here? Well, it's a crazy guitar, you'd have to custom order it. I think they priced it appropriately. But most importantly, you go down here, read through all the specs, nothing seems to stand out except for this. 7 pounds, 8 ounces. They don't say anything about it being chambered, so that is ridiculously lightweight for a solid Les Paul. And unsurprisingly, it found a new home. But next up, I want to talk about a guitar that Kansas City Vintage listed. 3 days ago, they called it a 2006 Gibson Custom Shop Les Paul Super Custom Premium Grade. So naturally, I got excited because the mid-2000s Super Custom reissues are pretty fascinating. So this one has a very unique quilty top to it. It's not your usual wide quilt, it's very tight. But you've got your dual zebra pickups, you've got your golden speed knobs, white poker chip. So naturally, seeing this thing being listed at $7,500, I was ready to put my offer in. However, then I noticed something very, very strange. We've got our Super 400 inlays, but they're tiny. I've never seen this before. So here's a normal Super 400 inlaid Les Paul Custom, and now look back over here. The inlays are so much smaller than they normally are. So that made me think, okay, yeah, I do want to put an offer in here to document it because I had just never seen it before. But it's important to view all your photos. So I continued on here. Well, we got the brass nut, nice. It doesn't actually say Super Custom like some of them will in this era, but it's still a brass truss rod cover. That's pretty cool. But then, we get to the back. It doesn't have the most important feature, the flame back and sides. In fact, we actually reviewed a Super Custom, and it just had a straight up maple body to recreate the originals. You could also check out the Les Paul 25 model that came out around the same time. Apparently, there were like 5 different versions, and they made 25 of each, some of them maybe being the Super Customs. History is a bit fuzzy in that era. But what is cool is we have a straight up 3-piece maple neck. It looks like it has a little bit of figuring, but nothing too much to write home about. It's got a cool washed out cherry finish in general. And then you see this, it's actually stamped premium grade, then your serial number 200616. I'd always thought premium grade was referencing stuff that Gibson sent out to Japan, because sometimes you do see that explanation, but according to them, this was originally sold by Musician's Friend. So sadly, my offer wasn't accepted, but maybe if it sits around for a while, they might circle back. But now brace yourselves for the white whale. It's got a boisterous price tag of 10 grand, but let's see what makes it special. Well, first off, we've got a very nice figured maple top. One of those where it's hard to tell. Is it quilt? Is it flame? I think this one's more so on quilty territory, but you could make the argument right here. That's just an awesome top. The gold hardware really pops it. Your crisp white binding. Then you take a look at the edge and what? it's a white edge. Okay, that's why it's called the white whale, I guess. So you can see that over here and a little bit more clearly there. But our headstock looks pretty much the same. But being called the white whale, I wanted to see the backside of the headstock. Is there a whale on here? No, just our regular stuff, darn. Not another one to add to the official Animal Kingdom Les Pauls, but judging by our serial number, made around 2018, that's pretty much the gimmick. Awesome top, white back and sides. However, that's a pretty cool gimmick. You don't see that too often, and it's billed as a custom F. However, being from 2018, it most likely has the Richlight fretboard unless somebody paid a crazy premium for it or is like a special NAMM show piece. The seller has confirmed with us Richlight regular pickup set. Definitely a unique piece with a proud price. But check this out, the return of Satin Widows. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. So a satin purple widow with a black Floyd rose, looks like black chrome pickup covers. They really just made this one all out. It looks great in my opinion. Personally, I was never really a fan of the Satin Widows, but once you play this finish style on an Access Custom, you will be converted. For me, that's with the Rhino Les Paul. I just love those things. So if you prefer the Floyd Rose, yeah, this one's out there. Otherwise, I probably would have preferred a stop bar tailpiece myself, but that's the other thing that makes it special. It is the Access Customs. So you get the Access heel carve, you get the Apex volute, as well as your belly cut. And the Widow finish refers to painting over the binding and your Gibson logos, which some people dig the look of, others don't. Honestly, it's something that took time to get people to warm up to. Because I remember entering the market after these had only been out like 3 or 4 years, and people just did not really like them. But after a decade of seeing them, people are enjoying them. But what was really shocking to me is the fact that this was brand new. So if you want to make Swing City music an offer, you can do so. To follow that one up, let's take a look at another made to measure. They called it Dark Fire and Tony Iommi. Okay, let's see if we can make some sense out of this. So I think they called it Dark Fire to play off the Dark Fire model. So what we've got going on here is a custom shop built guitar, but it has the black binding along the edge. Then you've got your flamed red finish, okay. And pole pieceless Tony Iommi pickups. Now it doesn't appear that the Iommis actually came stock from it. Somebody has installed all these cool upgrades. And then witch hat knobs, you don't see that all the time. Next up we can see we have black binding along the neck, and the neck actually appears to be rosewood. Remember, look over here, this thing was made in 2016. Your options were rosewood, maple, or Richlight. And a lot of custom orders would opt for a real wood alternative since ebony wasn't available at that time. Then we get to the headstock, and what is this? It's a Les Paul Standards headstock. I mean, technically, if we go back here, it's a Les Paul Standards body. It just has a customs fretboard as far as the inlays go, but everything else about this is 100% standard. So a standard with block inlays is the best way to put this one. Looks pretty good from this angle, but then they hit you with the surprise stinger on the back. And kind of a sloppy serial number, I think is the nicest way to put that. Whoa! It's got a belly cut too. That makes it unique. So how much is he asking? I mean, if we're being realistic here, $4,400 seems pretty fair for a custom shop standard with all these unique specs. Now, granted, they're not traditional specs. Not everybody's gonna want this piece, but if you want something a little bit out there, this 2016 offering is not too bad. Speaking of not too bad, look at this Quicksilver burst finish. It's over in the UK. They want $6,800 for it. And it's called Quicksilver. I have seen a few of these. It's a very polarizing finish. You almost have like a natural with a hint of silver for your main burst teardrop shape, but then they gradually put this light blue finish and then a very slightly darker border. Matching that with the chrome hardware, I think it is a very attractive finish. But it's just like Silver Burst. That used to be a very divisive finish. But now what do we have going on here? So it's not a string butler. It almost looks like they have magnets right here that just attaches to your tuners and then it stays in place. I suppose that's one way to get straight string pull rather than just cutting your nut properly in the first place. But anyways, moving on, here's what I really like about this is it has a transparent blue finish on the back. But there we go, wow. 2019 Gibson. Maybe it's because I haven't ever looked that closely at these, but that's just really sloppy looking too. We haven't had very good luck with Gibson having straight serial numbers in this episode. But now check out this 2013 Les Paul Supreme with me. So it's got all the good stuff, gold frets, globe, Supreme inlay. But look at that. It's a lefty. You don't see many lefty Supremes out there. Like this is the first one I've seen in a while. However, doing a quick little Google search here, they're out there. But I've always kind of dogged pure white and pure black Supremes because it's like the whole point of a Supreme is the flame top and the back. But there was a white version made, so a lefty must have really wanted one, so he custom ordered it himself, which USA doesn't always do. But I've started to really warm up to this white burst finish because it just kind of helps you see through it. And when you have a top as nice as this, it looks fantastic. Like I've seen some of these where it's like, yeah, no. But this one's definitely a win in my book, and a great opportunity for a lefty who might want one. However, the intonation setting of that bridge is a little bit worrisome, but Nationwide is selling that one at $7,500, which is quite a premium, but I think they're banking on it being a lefty. Then lastly tonight, my friends, Imperial Vintage is offering a brand new Silver Burst light aged Trini Lopez model for a little over $9,000. I think you really gotta love the Silver Burst, but you don't see that too often on the 335-esque body shape guitars. That doesn't mean that they don't exist, but you just don't see it all the time. But I'd say it's got a great evil hue to it, especially with that Firebird headstock up there. But what's really strange about this one to me is the fact that we've got all this finish checking, but yet it's still a very, very vibrant Silver Burst. Usually the checking is in referencing to the finish aging. So it would have been nice if we could have had just a little bit of an ambered clear coat on this one, I think. But if you prefer pure Silver Burst, it's there, but that finish checking just looks fake and forced to me. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed checking out these unique guitars with me tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.